All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. I am super excited to come to you another Sunday afternoon with another great episode. And I know everyone around the world gonna know that it's you don't care what country you live in, anywhere in the world. Special happy Valentine's to everyone that's tuning in to the program live or later on. And so just want to say happy Valentine's and want to say we're happy for another great episode of Real Talk with Ian and Ian. As usual, every week we're super excited because today, we're able to bring today to you. This is one of the fabulous super couple that you will ever meet in track and field. And it's a great combination. It's a Caribbean connection. It's French and Jamaican. And as Andre will say, he called his bride Frenchie. I mean, I don't. We're gonna ask where that name come from, but we're gonna get into it. So welcome, guys. So before we get to the welcome, we're gonna let you hear from the health and wellness specialist, Mr. Ian Thomas.
Well, as usual, we are just so pleased to all our followers, audience who keep coming back every week. And for those who may join for the first, we just want to say welcome to Ian and Ian Real Talk, where we bring individuals who are able to motivate, educate, and basically inspire us based on their life journey, based on their struggle, their journey, things they've been through, how they overcome. Basically it's a teaching platform, where everyone is welcome. And today we know it's Valentine's Day. We know, everybody's out there. It's all about the love setting, But this afternoon, we are proud to have on here a super couple, a power couple, as we'd say, who can sprinkle a little love on the platform this evening. So we just want to welcome Cynthia and André to the platform. Welcome, guys, to Ian and Ian Real Talk, another Sunday afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Much appreciation. Blessings.
All right. So, guys, we're just going to get right into it. As I said, I'm super excited. I'm glad that I know that it's been some strange weather, over in the U.S., up in the East Coast, in Texas. I've seen snow. It's pretty much been raining here in North Carolina for the last 4 or 5 days, and it's going to continue to rain. So, we're having, just obviously it's winter. So we know how it is in the winter time that the weather definitely can become winterish. So we're still glad. We know that a lot of people are going to be home right now, just enjoying the indoors. We know the Super Bowl has finished last week, so right now, we're hoping that we can, you know, elevate this platform, and we could have some excited Sunday afternoon and some Sunday evening where we could entertain, educate, and motivate. So Ian, I don't know who to start with first, but I'm gonna start with the ladies. We're just gonna go with the ladies. So Cynthia, just we're just really excited to hear you, and just for you just to tell us a little 60-second about your name and exactly where in Martinique are you from, and just let us and anything else you'd like to share about yourself, just for introduction.
All right. Thank you. And thank you all to have us here tonight.
Okay.
So I'm Cynthia Anaïs. I was born in Paris and I moved at 15 years old to Martinique, where my grandmother is from. So my mom family is from Martinique and my dad family from Guadeloupe. So that makes me French, and I have some French Caribbean culture. So yeah, at 15, then at 20, around 20 years old, I moved to the US under full scholarship to run for UMES. And eventually I got to meet Andre too. That was training at Coppin State University. So we were competing in the same conference. And here we are. Yes.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Well, Andre, you're a lucky guy. I know that you have, and I've seen the joy in your life, and I hope that you continue to live and enjoy such a beautiful life, and to play the role that you're playing in the development. I know you pretty much sacrifice your career right now. You could probably still train it, but you have switch over to coaching, so you have decided, I'm going to take my knowledge that I know, and I'm going to use this here to coach. And and you're doing a great job coaching, Cynthia, and I know that you will eventually continue to be a great coach. I know that you coach for a long time. So, Andre, so let's talk a little bit about you. We know that you're originally from Jamaica, and you're straight out of Calabar High School. And we know that Calabar, when it comes down to track and field, is a firepower. I mean,
Yeah.
we know all the legend that come out of Calabar. So, in my days, it was the great Daniel England. And then, you got guys like Ali Watson,
Yeah.
and you got a lot of now you got these young guys that's coming up. I can't keep up with the younger guys, but the guys them back in the days, I am very familiar with them. I'll never forget Floyd Howell and
Yeah.
Christopher Gallimore, and I have the pleasure of meeting Herb McKinley myself, so that was an honor. I wish that I have talked with him some more and kind of pick his head, but at the time, I just love my coach, Mr. Mike Olivier, from St. Vincent to Santa Cruz, Jamaica, and he has continued to change life and impact young athletes all over the world. So we want to give a shout out to Mike Mercy Olivier, one of the world greatest coach in the world, and I'm going to say that with no with no feedback or no response, or we're not take that back. That so big a shout out to Mr. Mike Olivier, and as usual, I want to give a shout out to Miss Lorna Bennett. Also, if she's watching this program, or if somebody might watch it, you could give her the shout out. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm just gonna bring Ian in because he's really the family man. I consider him. He has been with his high school sweetheart. That he went to school from the ninth grade, so he knows all the tricks and trade over 20 something years now. And since it's Valentine's Day, I'm gonna let him get into let him give me a good way to start the program off.
Well, yeah, and I just want to touch right back to Andre. Let him just basically give us a feedback where he's from
Okay.
there in Jamaica. Just a little preview of his community, what got him into the sports, and then we want to know definitely the love life story. I'm gonna tread down that lane, the love life story, Andre. So I'm gonna give you a little time to get into it. So just tell us where you're from in Jamaica, what got you into the sports, and then we'll take it from there. The next question.
Well, originally I was at Greater Portmore High School, and I transferred into Greater Portmore High School from Ascot, right? And I was a soccer player first, and I tried out for the soccer team, and I couldn't play soccer. I had to sit a year out. So I was thinking to myself, like, I'm just gonna sit an entire year and not do anything. And I was like, I wasn't trying to go home early because my dad had within my dad's household it's military. You do what I say when I say it. Don't no question asked. So I was like, I'm not trying to go home immediately after school. So I tried out for the track team, and yeah, at the time you had athletes like Lee Ford Green there who welcomed me. You had another guy called Demar Henry who mentored me, and at the time the assistant coach was Jonathan Butler. So I joined the track team, I would say January of 2004, and I trained with Mr. Cunningham, Sean Cunningham, who's still at Greater Portmore High School until Champs. So when Champs finished, I saw Lee Ford going up to the stadium. And, I was just curious, like, why is he going up to the stadium? Champs is finished. Back then, I didn't know about World Junior Trials or CAC trials, nothing like that. So I was just curious. I was like, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna just follow him, go up there and see what he's doing. And I saw him training with this like short guy with a ponytail. And I was like, who's that? You know, so that whole week I took the bus to the National Stadium. I observed Mr. Oliveira training Lee Ford at the time. And I think after Jamaica Invitation, when hit that track club, like to me, they didn't beat Hulmers in the 4x4, but the way how Lee Ford looked on the starting leg of that 4x4 at the time, I was like, this guy has to coach me. He has to coach me. So I went to him and I was like, sir, could you coach me? I was very nervous because, you know, that's the great Oliveira. You know, I heard about him, Stets 4x8, all of that stuff. So I was like, can you coach me? You know, real timid. And, you know, he greeted me with a big smile. And he's like, of course I'll coach you. Just like that. I mean, at that time, I was so honored because at the time I was running like 2 minutes 10 in the 800. And I was like, wow, he's really going to coach me. And the individual attention he gave me, he had Lee Ford at the time. He had Michael Garda, also known as Silverado. He had Rowan Phipps. He had the best high school quarter milers. And he still took time out of his practice to come and watch me run laps. You know? So, and to me, it's like, it made me wanted to work. It made me wanted to work. And then with Mr. Oliveira, for the 2 months I trained Mr. Oliveira, I think around 159 at the time. And then from the following season, I went back to my Greater Portmore coach, where I won bronze in the 1500. And I finished like last in the 800 final for Greater Portmore. I made Carifta team that year where I won 2 medals. After champs, I went back to Mr. Oliveira now to train. And I went from running 1 minute 56.6 with the Greater Portmore coach to 155. So at that time, I was like, this is the perfect remedy. You know, Greater Portmore to Mr. Oliveira every year. But the following season now, Sean Cunningham went to GC Foster on a study leave. And I went up to UA where Mr. Oliveira was, and I was like, can I train with you since Mr. Connie is on study leave? And Mr. Connie was like, you got to stay with the team because the team need a leader. And, you know, the whole system changed. And I was like, you know, I reached out to Homewood Technical, Kingston College, and Calabar. And Calabar was more persistent. They gave me the best offer. So I was like, I'm going to go to Calabar. And, you know, that's where the name Hickyman, everyone started knowing the name Hickyman. Yeah. So I think that's it, you know. That's it. And, you know, from Calabar, went to Oklahoma to Coppin where I met my wife. And I'm here now.
All right. Well, that was a good introduction. So, you know, with that, you know, I'm gonna start with the love life. But before that, I really want to just go over to Cynthia and say, Cynthia, we're happy that you're here with, you know, with your significant other, the love of your life. You know, we know that it's a process to where you decide to say, hey, this is gonna be the guy for me. You know, but earlier, Cynthia, I heard you talk about Paris, that you're born in Paris. Seriously, right?
That's right.
well, you know, that is basically like the love city. Everybody wanna go to Paris.
True. I heard that.
From Paris.
All right. But you share even a little memory of Paris, or just after researching or something. I don't know if you just born there, then you move over, and that was it. But you say anything about Paris?
The best memory of Paris?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say growing up, I grew up in Chinatown pretty much, right? And growing up with kids from all over the place, because that's really what France is about. We mixed up with a lot of people, and where I grew up, that was like the middle of it. People from India, Cambodia, Africa, many African countries, Chinese. That I guess that's the best memory. That's what made me who I am too, because from a little girl, I was already exposed to so many different cultures. So yeah, that's my best memory from growing up over there.
All right. So as I said, it's Valentine's Day. So I just want to ask quickly, what attract you to the man, Mr. André? 'Cause you guys are looking so beautiful this afternoon. It's a perfect pick.
I must say it's sincerity. It's sincerity that's what attracts me the most. Yeah, he's really yeah, he doesn't mash up his. He just tell you how like it is, and I like that. It's hard these days, you know, to find people that tell you the truth and that want good for you too.
All right, great. So André, now you know it's gonna turn to you. What first kindled that little spark about Cynthia? Because I know, you know, for me, my wife and I, we've been together from high school, and we know it started with a little spark. So when I saw her height, her looks, and the way she speak was basically the thing about her. So could you just tell us a little bit? You know, it's Valentine's. Spread some love.
Well, I mean, at first, our coach had to recruit me to University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. And he kept saying, you know, I have this athlete, you know, she's from France. She came here running 210, I know she's running 205. So I went online and I'm like, who's this girl? You know, and I Googled her and her profile picture popped up. And I was like, oh, she's cute. Back then she had dreads, you know? And I'm like, man, just ignore it, man. You know, then I went to NAIA Indoor Championship in 2011. And I saw this athlete, man, was winning everything. She would jog and kick. I'm showing the 800, the mile, I think the 3000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she just jogged the whole lap behind the leader and kick. You know, and I was like, ooh. And I saw her in her tights, and I'm like, ooh. I was like, all right, man, focus, you ain't here for that. You know, then I went to Florida and she walked past me, and I'm like, hey, you Frenchie? You know, I was talking about you. Then I heard the accent, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get that. I gotta get Cynthia, man. I gotta get that girl, you know? Right, and then, and you know, since then I waited patiently for like 4 years, you know, just staying in touch, you know, motivating her, you know, trying to help her in whatever way, you know, in hope that one day she have to look my direction. And she did one day, and I got the chance, and I just went for it. And no turn back.
I just want to say I really I'm happy that Google was Google, and
Yeah.
that's at least right where you basically get to see, you know, her. But you know, so we're gonna give thanks for that, and thank you for sharing, you know, that part of your life with us. So I'm just really gonna turn you back over to Ian now. You know, now that the stage is set, you know, it's Valentine's, so happy Valentine's to everybody out there. Okay. Daddy's already doing Ian and Ian talk. Say hi.
Hi. The straw and the pencil.
All right, go on. Go. It's your time, yeah.
All right, so guys, as I said, we normally get into the athletics first and kind of move along, but I think we're doing really good so far. Just talk about the you know, a little bit of everything, and with the great introduction that you're doing. So we're just gonna kind of move it up along. So Cynthia, so obviously I wanted to find out, how did you start run? What was the what was the turning point, and what age that you really think that you know what, I think I want to run, or I think that I could run longer or faster than, you know, people that you're going to school with.
So I started running from Paris, but it was just for fun. You know, in my country, sports are like just having fun outside of school. So I'd done a lot of other sports before I start track, and really and truly, I wanted to be how you call it in English again? Ice skater.
Okay.
Because I was living right next to the biggest ice skate place in Paris, and I was really inspired by an athlete called Soraya Bonali.
Okay.
Yeah, she was one of the first Black athletes to do ice skate and to come up to such a high level. So that was my inspiration. But it happened that my mom couldn't come out of work and bring me there. So eventually I did many other sports like dancing, fencing, And a friend one day told me, why don't you just come and run with us? So I thought it was fun. I did some long jump, some cross country, and they start recruiting me for some camps for the best youth of Paris. And I thought it was fun too, but I was never really that much into it up until I moved to Martinique.
Okay.
I think I was really homesick when I got to Martinique. I didn't want to leave Paris because to me, Martinique was just a place for vacation.
Okay.
I felt like it was really boring to live in the Caribbean permanently. And my mom told me just go back and pick a sport. I wanted to do soccer. They didn't have a female team. So I ended up doing track and field again. And what happened is that from my first or my second year, I started winning some races. And I was like, okay, cool, but still, I want to go back to Paris. And eventually, they start sending us to some meet outside. And my first place was going back to Paris for I think it was World Championship.
Okay.
So my school chose the best athlete of the school to go out there. Each school chose one student. And I was like, okay, that's my way to go out. So I just kept training and start being even more motivated because I realized that running track helped me travel outside of Martinique. And I start really getting into it and enjoying winning. And eventually, I met the Carifta teams too. So that was really the big motivation. And here we go. It just came along and they saw that I had some talent in it. So I was like, all right, here we go.
All right. So that's awesome. So obviously going to Carifta, I know that you got more exposure. People get to see you from the US and then. So tell us, how did the opportunity comes up now that you decided to come to America to study? So you grew up in Paris. You probably think that you'd want to go to London or Paris or somewhere to study.
Really, because Paris has so much diversity. Like I'd never visualized myself going far away from Paris because they have everything. I love the English culture, the American culture. I was a lot into the music and thing, but I'd never visualized it up until I met Carifta. And that's when I start seeing the level of the English athlete at Carifta Games. That's when it start clicking to my mind, like, all right, I gotta go outside now to reach the higher level. And I guess that's when I start having exposure. Like Andre even told me that you saw me maybe at Carifta.
That's 4x4.
Oh, okay. And I think my Coach Barrett, he said that he saw my result because I won a medal on the 4x4 and the 8, and that's how he reached me on Facebook. For me a scholarship.
Man, so you got an opportunity. I mean, so how did your mom and everybody take it when they said, look, this coach contacted me in America and he want me to come to go to school. Were they scared to send his daughter away so far now, or how did that go?
Well, I had to hide it. I had to keep it for myself because my parents were pretty scared. I mean, I knew they would have been scared, so I did not tell my mom up until I'd signed up most of the paperwork, and she didn't even believe me when I told her. It's like, well, I'm going, It's like, stop lying, man. Stop always joking. Like, that's not even real. Like, well, I've been in touch with the coach and I signed. I'm going. And they didn't really believe it, but at the same time, I guess because we had the Parisian culture where they're pretty open for the kids to do what they want. Eventually, she just had to work with it. My dad he was just like, hey, go for it. Maybe it's scared, it's an unknown land. You don't even speak English that good. We don't know nobody over there, but if your mom say you can go, go. So yeah, it was really like going into adventure because back then too, we didn't really have internet. How can I say that? We didn't know nobody that had done it before from that was speaking French.
Right. Right.
So it was hard to believe that it's possible that they pay for everything,
Right.
and that at the same time they will be taking care of me. It was a bit scary, but I'd already made my mind up that I wanted to move from Martinique. So I was like, I'm going. At first, I wanted to go study in Canada, but they were not offering scholarship. It was in the French part, Montreal.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I was in between. Like, should I go to America where it's unknown and they speak English?
Yeah.
I will be the only French person, or should I go to Canada? But I have to find a way to pay for school, and my parents don't really have the financial to help me, so I'm gonna have to figure out everything over there. And I
Oh.
choose the US. And it
Okay. Okay.
worked out well. Yeah, just follow
All
my.
right. Well, great story. And I said, I'm hearing a book somewhere along the road. I mean, of this journey here. So tell us, when did you first start learning English? What's the situation like in Martinique? Do they teach
Um,
English in school? How did you start learning a little English?
So, well, I first started by listening to Lauryn Hill and all these singers. Really and truly, back in my days, we started, I think, at 14 years old.
Okay.
So we have like a few classes to learn the basics. But I'm not gonna lie, when I got to the US, I felt like American English was so much different because we learned British English.
Okay.
And British is hard, they have a strong accent. So I had a hard time at school, but it was even harder when coming in the US because the accent was all different and the expression. It was
All
really
right.
the expressions, the hardest, because Americans speak really fast and they have slangs and ways
Yeah.
to say stuff. But after like 3 months of having headache and looking in my dictionary all the time, it's okay. I went through it.
All right, all right, all right. We're gonna give you a break. So, Andre, let's talk about a little bit about. Obviously, we want to talk about you coming to the U.S. Also, we know that you compete with Calabar. You was successful in high school. Actually, just tell us a little bit about your accomplishment while you was at Calabar and running for champs. What's your biggest memory running at champs?
Well, I'd say my biggest memory would be in 2008 1500 final. I was predicted to finish, I believe, second. Now, what no one knew is that I had torn my hamstring in January at Douglas Forest, and I had a slight strain. Then I went and compete on it, and it just ripped. So I was getting therapy at medical associate. So going into champs, the injury was still there, but it was my last year. So I was like, no way I can miss that 1500 final, or no way I can go out there and not win. I have to defend my title because the previous year I had won in 4 minutes four, the 1500, very very easy. Now I had won in 4 minutes four, and then the following year, he had big bad Kemoy Campbell. I remember at Carifta he ran like 353 solo, and everyone was like, "Yo, Hickyman, you're gonna lose to this kid. Your last year, this is your last year in class one. This is his first year in class one, and you're gonna go out as a loser." I remember, the critique, the comments. It was pretty tough, but no, Michael Clark, he believed in me. I don't know what gave him that much belief, but he believed in me, and he sent me to champs run the 1500. Because originally, it was my teammate who was supposed to run. Marsh and Rory Roden. But instead, he took Marsh off the 15 and he put me on Rory. And in the finals, he was like, listen, man, just accelerate each lap. That's it. Accelerate each lap, make your move at 500, and you should catch him at, by 150, you should catch him. When you catch him at 150, make your move. And I made my move at 500. I believe I caught him like at 350, 300, which was earlier than we had predicted. So I pretty much just jogged behind him, and when I got in front of the Calabar crowd now, you know, I looked at him, you know, just to see if he was tired, if he was jogging, and I saw that he was in pain. So right there and then I just waved to the crowd and I was like, I'm a win. You know, 150, I made my move though, not thinking that Conor Crossman was right there with me. You know, I don't know where he came from. But when I made my move at 150, he made his move the last 50 meters now. Oh, what happened? The last 50 meters, I heard the crowd, you know? I was like, oh, that's not normal. And that's what I like about champs, you know? The energy, the excitement, the crowd, you know? So the last 50, the crowd got loud, and the crowd kept getting louder and louder and louder. And I'm like, the previous year I won, I didn't hear this much noise. And this year, it's really loud. So I'm like, someone is coming. A glimpse, and I saw Conroy from Edwin Allen in blue right here with me. And yeah, he pushed me to the line. And I think that's how I was able to run like 3:52. Now that at the time, I missed the record by 1 second, you know. And my coach, he was disappointed. But at the same time, he was excited because he was like, if you had went past Kemai, the last 300, and kick at 150, which I know you could, no doubt you could have run like 340, 339. You know, then after that, no, John Muir came to me from JC, and he's like, Hickyman, you need to stop jogging, you need to strike the iron while it's hot, because you don't get these opportunities every day. Same time, so Oliveira came to me. Everyone was like, you know, pretty much, they were excited, but they were more disappointed in the fact that I didn't break the record. So, you know, since then, you know, I still jog, but I try not to anymore.
All right, all right, all right. So awesome. So you have an excited career, man. I know the best feeling. I know you've been to the Penn Relay also. Tell us a little bit about your accomplishment for Calabar running at the Penn Relays. You guys take home any watches and or Championship of America? How was your Penn Relay experience?
I mean, unfortunately, I never took home in a watch. In '08, I should have, in '08, but what happened is that the injury, it got worse, like the cold weather made it worse. I remember I got to Pens in '08 and my legs just kept hurting, and then I could have easily said, take me off and put someone else, you know, but at the end of the, but my 155 was better than the guy who would have replaced me with 158. So I was like, I must go out there and I must do my best to win a watch for the team, you know, and now whatever happened. Mr. Clark knew this because he's the only one I really confined to at the time. So he knew I was hurt and he's like, you know, just go out there and have fun and run hard, you know, don't worry about it. I went out there and I was like, all right, man. I pulled the button and I was like, just go and whatever happened. I went, 200 to go. I tried to move, I couldn't, you know. And right there and then, that's when my friend from Manchester, Halloween Green, just went past me. And he made his move so fast that to me, it happens like to me, when he passed me, he passed both me and the guy who was in front of me from North Penn. So when I ran to the line, I didn't feel too bad. I was like, at least the Americans didn't win. You know, I lost, but the American didn't win. So I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, I understand. I know back then just coming to the Penn Relays, as we're looking at the other Jamaican teams, and we know sometimes their final is have seven high school Jamaica teams, and it's very rarely that a team from the US will win, and it seemed like it's a big celebration with that. But I'm gonna leave that there for now. So let's talk about your getting a scholarship to come to the US. Tell us a little bit about how did that come by? Did you have any other opportunity to go to other schools, and why did you go to Oklahoma Baptist? Was that your first school of choice?
Well, in my mind, this is how I view the whole situation. Once I get on US soil, I'm good. That's all I wanted. Just get my feet on US soil, and from there I'll find my way. So whichever school came to me, I was open. Essex County talked to me, I was like, hey, I'm coming. North Dakota talked to me, I'm like, I'm coming. You know, and Mark Elliott, man, that guy, you know, amazing. He
Yeah.
contacted me and he's like, I want you. And I'm like, all right then. And he's like, I'm sending to Oklahoma first because you don't want the grades to come to LSU. And then after a year and a half, you can come to LSU. I'm like, I'm coming. You know, and Oklahoma, like, I spoke to Mark like the Monday, and by the Tuesday, I had a package from FedEx with Oklahoma. And I'm like, that's the schooling, man. That's the school I want me the more. You're the one that's determining. I went on the website, did all my research, and I saw they had like 2 guys running 150 point, one guy running 3 minutes 54. I'm like, these are good training partners. I have like 2 years with these guys. You know, I get there, you know, for workout, I was gonna be in front of them, and I'm able to keep my scholarship. And that's why I got to Oklahoma.
All right, awesome. So you actually now went to Oklahoma, and you know, how long did you actually compete for Oklahoma? Did you stay your whole 4 years, or you know, what changed? Because I know that, as I said, you hopefully was shooting to go to a Division 1 school, but you know, so how was life transition? Actually, how was life in the U.S. for you coming from Jamaica? I know it's a little cold over there in Oklahoma. How did you transition when you came over? Did you miss home, or you were just not worrying about back there in Jamaica?
I mean, the first semester, I didn't miss home, you know, I was just living the life. You know, I was living the life, and I had 3 meals a day. I had a calf right next to me. You know, you don't get that, right? Like, you don't get it like that in Jamaica. You know, so I had three meals, sometimes 4 meals a day. I had this little card called Bison card with like 1,200 on it. You just go into the stores and get whatever I want. And my class, the track was right next to my house, which is like a relief because in Jamaica, I live in Greater Portmore and I have to travel to Calabar, which takes 2 hours and 30 minutes every morning. I know that because I look at my watch. You know, every morning I pray, please let the trip be 2 hours. So my dorm was right next to the track. You look through my dorm window, you see the track. You know, I asked for that room specifically because I knew that, you know, I'm always late, you know, and, you know, I asked for that track and everything. So I was living the life, man. When I first got to Oklahoma, like I said, I came there with a plan. The plan was to adjust as fast as possible, and the biggest challenge was the cold weather. So purposely, during the day, going to class, I would wear like as little clothes as little clothing as possible to class, so that my body could adjust to the cold. Because I knew that Mr. Clark was there guiding me at the same time. We'll talk on a weekly basis, and he's like, you gotta adjust to the cold because there will be times when the coach asks you to compete in like freezing weather, and you gotta compete because you're on a scholarship. So I'd wear as little clothes as possible to adjust, and eventually my tolerance for that cold built up. So I was able to run like really fast times in practice. And yeah, it paid off. I went to Drake Relay my first year. It was like raining, 37-degree, and it was the 4x8. You know, everyone was running like 150.151, and I think that day I ran the fastest split, 149.1 in like 37-degree weather. So it paid off.
All right, awesome. So tell us a little bit about Oklahoma Baptist. I'm just curious. I'm gonna get you over to Ian, but in terms of the university, I know it has a strong name, Oklahoma Baptist University. How much of the spiritual and the faith part does that school you learn while you're there? I'm just curious to know about that since I went to a Christian school, and honestly, I didn't kind of realize. Yeah, I studied the Old Testament, the New Testament. I did 2 years of Bible, man. But so what was something different there that did you guys have to go to chapel and devotion on a regular basis?
Yeah, Oklahoma is like really Christianity, you know, is a part of our education. To graduate, you have to pass Western civilization, which is like a Christian course. You have to pass New Testament, Old Testament. You also have to get, I believe you have to get each semester, you have to get like 140 credit for going to the chapel twice per week. That also, the coach, he was deeply religious. You know, we would pray before practice, pray before going on long trips, pray before our competition, and in the buses we couldn't watch no X-rated movie, no R-rated movie. Everything was strictly Christian. I remember that my favorite movie was Facing the Giants. Before every championship, we'd watch Facing the Giants. So it was deeply, deeply religious. You had females walking around with purity ring, all of that. So you just name it. Just name it, and I can tell you it was at Oklahoma when I was there.
Yeah, that was just as I said. I went to Southwest Christian, and it was like you can't go near the girls' dorm. It was just out of bound. You literally would get suspended.
Yep.
And the girls can't go towards the boy dorm. And at the time, I mean, I just, it was my first experience in the U.S., so I didn't really know what was out there. I couldn't wait to go to George Mason because I know I'm going to live in an apartment and I could do anything I want, So the moment I graduated in May, I leave right away. I went to George Mason from before summer started, so, like 3 months before class started because I just really wanted to leave. But I still give thanks. I still believe that God was working on me, that I end up down at the school. It was a full scholarship, and God always working. And I believe that you probably learned some stuff while it was at Oklahoma Baptist that you can look back now and say, man, it was a good school, and I would do it again if we was supposed to do it again. You would choose the school, so we understand that. All right, over to you, Ian.
All right, learning a lot here. All right, so back to you, Cynthia. I know you're getting a little quiet here, so I just want to know, as an athlete, what motivates you? Despite we know training is tough, it's challenging, but what motivates you to get up each day and go out there to train it when you know sometimes you're gonna be in pain?
Well, I must say the reward. I love to compete, and I love to travel. And like I said, when I was younger in Martinique, my goal was to come out of the island. I love Martinique. I love my islands, Guadeloupe, Martinique, but I also love outside. I grew up in Paris first, so I needed to see more people, needed to see more places. So that was really my motivation. Go out there every day, try my best so that eventually I can make teams and go out, and eventually I even got my scholarship, so it all worked out pretty well. Like track was my how can I say that, my ticket to travel outside. Yeah.
All right. As a teenager growing up, because you still look like a teenager. You guys look like
Thank you.
you're a young couple. But as a teenager growing up, what were some of the greatest challenges that you faced?
It's a good question. Sorry, I can't recall what was really do you remember? I told you anything as a teenager?
Moving to Martinique, that's all you said.
Yeah, I did. I cried all summer when we moved to Martinique because I just didn't want to live permanently. I loved it for vacation. And at the age of 15 too, you already established with all your crew, your friends, your environment. And I feel like my parents were betraying me. At 16 years old in France, you are a senior into a middle school. School. So becoming a senior in your school is like the greatest thing ever because you're gonna spend that last year with all your people. Like I went to school with people that I was from kindergarten with. So I was excited. So when they told me that, I was like, no, y'all can do that to me. That's my last year. Like, at least do it for high school, but not.
Yeah.
And, it was a hard time, the transition, because I know they educated me with the French Caribbean culture, but actually living into it was different. The kids, the kids are, thank you, Vala. The kids back in the Caribbean, this I don't know for those islands. I'm gonna talk for Martinique. It felt like there's so much not exposed to outside. The mentality is pretty how can I call it? It's a small mentality. They used to call me the Parisian when I got out there. Like they used to literally see me as different as them, and I didn't get it. I had a hard time um, to get to how can I say to connect with the kids in Martinique, because at that age, it's the age where you're starting to know yourself, to becoming more like an adult, and it's that age where you're trying to find yourself too. So it was, I guess, the hardest challenge, the transition from Paris to Martinique here, and really understanding the way people think. Well, up until now, I still try to understand, because there's different mentalities from living in an island and living in mainland France. Yeah.
All right, Andre, we're still gonna throw the same question to you because we know Jamaica. We basically know some of the challenges that Jamaica presents. And you speak up one earlier was getting to training 2+ hours. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, man.
Distance. So could you just speak of some of the other challenges that you may have faced also in your journey?
And Calabar was the biggest challenge. The other day I was talking to a few friends and they're like, "Yo, if I could go back, I'll go back to Calabar and redo everything. What about you, man?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at, man. I have a degree. I left Calabar. I'm good, man. I ain't going back to Calabar." And he's like, "You don't love the school?" I'm like, "I love the school, but it was tough, And like I said, every morning I got on that 16 bus right in front of my house in Greater Portmore, and I took that bus for 2.5 hours every morning for 3 years. Another challenge was practice. Man, Monday workout was just tough. It was really tough. I mean, back then, I woke up at 4. I try to leave the house by 5:30. So there's no time to actually prepare breakfast. So you wake up and you have an empty stomach up until I think 11:40 lunchtime. When lunch come now, you can't even eat a big meal. So at the time I was eating a little small box with chicken and rice. So by the time practice come around now, you're good. When practice come, it's like, man, I haven't ate all day. I will do so much running. So, when I left Calabar, I was really happy. I think it's the happiest day of my life. When I got on that plane and I wasn't going back, I was like, man, I'm so good. Like I said, man, I got to Oklahoma and I saw a lot of that food. I was like, I can really work now. I can really put some real work now, because at the time we had 16,400 on Monday. And 16,400 now is nothing, but back then it felt like a lot. I remember I used to look at my watch and I'm like, all right, we start at 3:30, I should finish by 5. And like by 5:30 I'm still running. I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer I can do this. Otherwise from that, the education at Calabar was really fast paced compared to Greater Portmore. At Greater Portmore, they were like, to me, they were going pretty fast at Greater Portmore. At Calabar it was like a next level, man. It was like at Greater Portmore, it was Flash. And at Calabar, it was like Superman. That's how fast it was. So I struggle academically as well. But that's one thing I appreciate about Calabar, is that the academia was so tough at Calabar that when I got to college, it wasn't that challenging. And I was able to find my way. So that's the one thing, I'm really, really grateful for going to Calabar. I don't think if I I stayed at Greater Portmore, I would have actually graduated college, because, like I said, the education, the speed at which I was taught at Calabar made college somewhat easy at the time. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, I think the food is the biggest challenge, though. The food. I think the food is the biggest challenge.
Well, I may see why you were dragging some of the time.
Yeah.
You have enough gas to kick out. All right, just kidding. Anyway, I'll give you a little minute to give a shout out to some of the people back in a Greater Portmore, back Calabar. Anybody want to give a shout out to, you can take the moment to shout out. And if anyone have helped in a special way, you can also tell us about that.
Yeah, man. My principal at the time, Mr. Scott, he supported me a lot at Greater Portmore. I left Greater Portmore, I really felt it. I was like, I don't want to leave this guy because he support me so much. I never had to worry about nothing at Greater Portmore, tuition was taken care of, uniform, lunch, you name it. He said it. Anything you need, let me know, because you're our athlete and we need to get you to that level, So shout out to him. Shout out to Mike Oliver who believed in me. I mean, I don't know where that guy belief came from, but I was running 210 and he saw potential. I mean, it was just amazing to see that he has all his stars around him and he took the time to focus on me. Whereas with other coaches, a bit different. Even at Greta Portmore, it was different, At Greta Portmore, he had Lee Ford, and everyone was focused on Lee Ford and Mboy at the time, not me. I was just there doing my little thing, trying to make it. So, I appreciate Mr. Oliver for taking the time out. Michael Clark, he has been guiding me throughout college. Mark Elliott at Clemson now. Shout out to Mark Elliott at Clemson. Sad that the men's track and field program will be cut. I really feel it. I feel it really because, Mark Elliott, I think when I was counting, I think Mark Elliott helped in graduating more than 100 student athletes from the Caribbean, when I was counting. Because I know during my time, he graduated like 20 of us at the time, When I say graduate, I mean, he got 20 of us to the US at the time. So to hear that the men's program going to get cut at Clemson, I really felt it. And I think this is what really pushed us to actually go there past weekend to compete, just to see him, because I don't know where he's gonna go. If he happens to relocate to the West Coast, I don't know when I'm gonna see him again. So, that really, I want to take the opportunity to just go there this past weekend and see him and, let him know I appreciate his help and everything and I wish him the best. So shout out to him also.
All right, I'll just say gratitude is a must. I personally want to give a shout out to Mr. Mike Oliver, because back in Jamaica, I was an athlete that was discovered by him. But even though I did not spend much time in the field, I basically was prone to injury. And I had a high jump injury, and mommy said, "Boy, that's it." So I stick to the cricket. But Mr. Mike Oliver basically played a very important role in a lot of guys, athletes over the years, and his legacy will live on through the athletes that he have coached through the years. So we just want to give a big shout out to Mike Oliver and his work and the journey. He's still doing his thing. Big respect to him. All right, so this question I'm gonna turn is gonna basically for two of you guys, because as we look on you here, and I've not met you guys physically, personally, but looking at you guys, you guys are together in a relationship. It's Valentine's Day. And I'm telling you, you guys look like a young, perfect couple. All right. But, I know in athletics, normally, there's a saying like, the relationship and the track doesn't go too well together. But it seems like you guys were pretty much well mature. I got married pretty early. I got married in college at probably about 21 or somewhere about there. So I got married in college very early. So, with you guys, could you tell us, when you guys really realize that, guess what? We are able to do this and it will not affect, Cynthia, athletics, career, anything. But you guys, it's a mature decision that you guys have taken. Could you share with the audience, how did you know that this is the right thing you're doing at this particular time? Probably, and how long you guys been together? The audience may want to know that too. So we start with you, Cynthia.
How long we've been together? Well, I get we've been talking since before graduation. I graduated in 2012, so that's many years we've been talking now. And then eventually, I wouldn't be able. You remember like how long we've really been together?
Yeah, I remember everything.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, how was the hunter, and she was the queen. So I remember everything, she was so distracted with other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've known her since 2011. We've been talking, as friends during that time. At the time, we were seeing separate people, so I respected that about her. I know that she was with someone, and I respected it. So I was like, let's wait till your turn. At the time, I was seeing someone too. So we were really good friends, and we got to know each other. But I still I found her attractive same way and everything. But it wasn't nothing serious. Then she was single, I was single, and I was like, hey, now's your chance, these chances don't come around twice, So we started dating October of 2014. I never forget, yeah.
Okay.
October
Yeah,
2014. Then we got married in March 2016,
yeah.
and since then, we started living together. That September.
2016.
Yeah, September of 2016, we started living together. The coaching started right there also. But prior to that, I was sending her a workout from New York.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
we were living. We ended up
Separately.
living pretty close. I was living in Canada for a while, and you in New York.
Mhm.
So we were able to see each other a bit. And
Yeah, so when we first got married, we didn't move into like the nice pretty house, There was distance. We got married today, and next day she was on a flight out, and I was on the train back home. So we were just planning like, all right, let's go to Martinique together and do this thing.
and that's when we decided we would have done it. And I think it just came naturally. We both love track, and we knew we wanted to continue and run. And he had been asking me like, you want me to coach you? But I wasn't, I wasn't sure if it would have worked because I'm like, at a distance, it's gonna be really hard. I believe he should be there, and at the same time, I didn't know if he was serious because he joked a lot.
And you know what it was, when you're a superstar and a small coach approach you and say, let me coach you, you're
I
like,
was not a star.
you're like, I'm a superstar, man. I don't want you to coach me. So, yeah, because she ran 204 in college.
Yeah,
And,
but I went back to being slow.
And that's when she's like, coach me now, I'm slow. So I just,
You asked
again,
me before, but I wasn't sure. Like I never really know when he's serious or not. So like, all right, let's just see. And then we really took the decision. We were like, all right, you know what? It's gonna be in Martinique. Martinique it is. I didn't really want to stay in Martinique. I was already thinking about going, I think, to Ghana. I wanted to go live somewhere else again after Canada, and it's like, all right, Martinique, the environment is perfect, and everything just came along. We're like, that's what we both need, and we both run the 800, and you explained to me too that we kind of need the same type of training. Me, I don't know much into all the technical and track coaching and everything, so I say, all right, I just leave it all for you. Are you ready for this? Just go ahead then.
Yeah. I mean, I have a different version, like I said,
Oh.
That's her version. And to this day, I keep telling her, like, that's her version.
Okay.
So my version is like this. She was running 204. She was the face of, Mayak. Everyone knew Frenchie at Mayak. She was one of the best in France. So, naturally, I expect a no from her. When I select my coach, I expect a no from her. Also, she was being coached by Michelle, former Jamaican 800-meter athlete.
Oh, while in Canada.
Yeah, I think she made a few world championship. She ran 158 or 9. So naturally, I was like, she's gonna say no, but still try.
But I didn't really told you no though, because I'm the type of person I like to give a full chance to the person that's there with me. So I was like, all right, Michelle is there. She's giving me her time, and I was like, all right, let's just give it a full.
Michelle went to George Mason because a weekly hour.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I am trying to put the. I was going to ask you the what's the other name?
Burger.
Valentine.
Oh, Michelle Valentine.
Yeah, you know her, man.
Yeah, you got to say Valentine's.
Yeah,
you said Michelle right now. You like, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my girl, man. She she man, but anyway, we'll talk about that.
I was like, it might be hard not to have my coach right there to look at me every day. And I even asked you, would you come and live in Canada? You said, no, it's too cold. Like, okay. So I didn't really tell you no, but I was trying to find the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's her version. And that's her version, man. But we went to Martinique, and I started coaching her. I tried to make a comeback in it, but I suffered from sciatica in college. Those long bus drives and not sitting properly the entire way, because one of the disc in my back. to like bulge. I didn't even know this until yesterday. Mark Elliott recommended me to one of his guys in Clemson. I went there and I was like, yo, my leg hurt, man. He's like, let me check on it. He's like, you have a bulge in this. That's why. I was like, all right, thank you. No, that's it from me. So yeah, so right there and then I was like, I'm a coach, and coaching. That's when I realized that coaching is really a guesswork. I don't see myself as a coach. I always call myself a scientist. Because you're constantly experimenting and trying to figure out stuff every day. Every day, Cynthia is 33, and every year since I've gotten her, this is the first year she hasn't run a personal best indoor because we're not, like I said, I went to Clemson just to see Coach Elliott and Coach Lennox. Lennox Graham is there also, former KC head coach. And I was like, since I'm going there, you might as well just shake some rust off. And yeah, so this is the first indoor season with me. She hasn't run a personal best, but yeah, coaching is really a guesswork.
All right, guys, I'm proud to see that you guys had made that decision, to really tie the knot and take it forward together, because it is a challenging decision to make overall, it's not easy to come to that decision, but I can see that you guys are having fun as you go along, and I encourage you to continue to have all the fun you can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into when, like I said, it really came naturally. We were like, my goal was that we both come back and give it all, give what we have left. I've been wanting to see Hickyman back too. He is. Everywhere I go, my heart is sparkling because people like, you Hickyman wife? Oh, wow.
I'm good in the background,
Hickyman.
I see it, I saw the proof. I saw it. To me, you're a legend, and I'm like, you still have to prove yourself. So that was really my wish, my goal is that we both try to make it together, and
I have no regrets. I get to travel for free. I get to drink French wine. So I'm good. I'm good, man. No regrets. Everything happened for a reason, and I'm happy it happened the way it did. Not many people get to go to Rance and drink champagne from Rance. That's expensive, That's some expensive stuff right there. And then I get to go to Marseille and eat French cheese, all of that stuff. I'm good. I can't complain.
All right, André, you're enjoying the journey,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good thing. So I'm gonna turn you back over to Ian. But thank you guys for sharing. As I said, it's Valentine's Day. We have to spread the love out here,
Look, man, Ian, I got a question for you. So so you think you could coach your wife to do any form of training or anything? How you think that dynamics would work?
If I could coach her doing a form of training?
No, this one for Ian. Ian.
Oh.
I'm asking if you think you could be a good coach if your wife asked you to coach her to exercise or get in shape. Do you think you would be good, or you'd rather hire somebody to do it?
Well, I could teach the basic, but with me, I believe that let the expert do the work. So I can teach her the basic, get her up to the basic. But when it reaches another level, guess what? Let the expert take over, man.
Okay. Well, as I said, me asking that question, I'm just saying, André and Cynthia, what you guys are doing, and I'm saying that somebody put unity strength. To come together and to have that relationship, and as a coach and as a husband. So I don't know. You could tell me a little bit. How is it when you at the track and you try to push her to do more? How you find that any challenging, or how you able to do that? That part of the training.
It depends. It depends. Sometimes I have to be a coach. Sometimes I got to be a husband. Sometimes I got to be sometimes I got to be our best friend. It all depends. Like the workout that she really needs me to do. Workout, like my favorite workout for her is 8x300. 1 minute rest. I need them in 45 seconds. That day I need to be a coach. So before the workout, I'm like, hey man, I ain't your husband, I ain't your friend, I'm your coach. I tell you as it is. You know, I tell you as it is. There's no censor. You know. So sometimes I gotta get like really tough on her, like, hey man, you're wasting my time. You know, I can be home drinking wine, right? I mean, I'm in France, man. I don't need to be out here. You know. And then there are times like on the long runs now. I know she doesn't like long runs. So I'm like, all right, it's not that serious. And you know, you can't be stressing the mind every time. So personally, I'd go with her. Sometimes I ride a bike also. Depends on how I feel. You know, and we just talk about life in general. You know, our plans, our goals. You know, how we're going to accomplish certain goals in life. On that day, and then there are days that gotta be our husband also. You know, like really and truly is like I would say on the days when you have like sprint workout, like max velocity, you're not gonna be a husband. Like it's okay, you know, you didn't do it the right way, you know, and I feel like this is how you should do it, you know,
Yeah.
like all of that stuff. So you have to change your act. You have to change your act, and you have to know that when you enter the house, as much as I want to talk about track and field, I know that hey man, I'm a husband. Forget about track and sometimes it burns my skull, you know, 'cause I'm like, I gotta tell her, man. I gotta tell her. You know? I said, burn my skull, and sometimes I'll be like, hey man, come look here. She's like, I don't want to see. So yeah, you have to know your limits and you have to have like self-control, I would say. Strong willpower too.
Okay. Ian, you remember when we talked to Coach Kerry Lee Ricketts and Shanika Ricketts? That's another couple that coach and husband, and Shanika would be like, look, his coach want to talk about track and sitting in the couch, and she's home chilling. She don't want to talk about it, the track. But as I said, I get you. It's the passion, and it's kind of you get an opportunity, and sometimes it's you don't know if it's the right opportunity or the right mind, or so it's always just to know when to hit the brakes and back off and be like, look, yeah, so. But anyway, I'm still thinking that you're doing a tough job. We got a few coaches, as I said, that's still doing it. And a lot of times, they over Europe. It's a beautiful thing when I see them get to travel together and actually able to celebrate. Because sometimes they have to, if one person home, they have to wait till they come home to celebrate, and then or you got to wait till they get on the phone and talk. So tell me, how do you celebrate now a good performance when Cynthia go out there and perform real good? How do you celebrate her? You massage her feet, or you tap her on the back?
I know she like me, personally, when I'm in the stands, I don't care. In France, they're French. They're very polite and bougie. I mean, when Cynthia, like, I remember in 2018, she ran 2 flat for the first time, led the race for a 650 meter, 750 meter, almost won. The race, barely lost. And, I was just there spitting that patois. Yes, man. Go no Pagia. And like, he was looking at me like, what language is that? Is he crazy? I see the look again, and I'm like, I don't care, but I don't want from that. I know she like Alfredo, Salmon Alfredo. So we try to find like the best restaurant in that area. So if we in like Germany, try to find the best restaurant for Salmon Alfredo, wherever we are. I know that's what she like. And I try to get her that, all the time. I told her, no, go ahead and get as much as you want. But now I put limits on it. And I'm like, hey, you can't eat that much. You can't eat this, you can't eat that. Most of the time, that's how it is. But on that day, I'm like, you can go ahead and get whatever you want. There's no limit.
Okay, all right, awesome. So who do most of the cooking at home now? Since
I'm a Jamaican, I gotta keep it Jamaican.
He loves his food. I try to present to him a lot of my dish, but I'm not gonna lie, his food is really good too.
Not enough pepper, man. Not enough pepper, not enough black pepper, not enough salt, not enough seasoning. I like my pepper, Yeah.
All right. So Cynthia, what's the best meal that he prepared that you love that when he cook it?
Jamaican.
To be more precise, I would say I like that dessert with the marshmallow. I don't know if it's from Jamaica.
No,
but-
that's American. Casserole.
Oh, okay.
American.
And the fritters.
Oh, she like banana fritters.
Yeah,
She like banana fritters.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pick because pretty much everything is really good. Yeah, I love it. And he
No?
taught me how to do some when I want to do some more like porridge and
Yeah, man. I know she like tin boom and dumpling too. Hey, that's legendary, you know. It's legendary. We come back home, we started having 4 people food, and then we go to the US, you know, it's like it becomes rich people food because mackerel pretty expensive in New York. Very
Yep.
expensive. In Jamaica it's poor, but in the US it's like luxury food for us Jamaican.
and the breadfruit.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh yes, he made me love breadfruit again because
Mm.
back home we don't cook it like this. We just boil it all the time. So yeah, those are really good.
All right. So Ian, I just want to share. I, Cynthia actually ran yesterday. I don't know if you heard them or they're saying they actually ran yesterday at a track meet in Clemson, South Carolina. And then they pretty much I actually got a message yesterday that, oh, we're passing through North Carolina, heading up the coast, so they're way up north right now, and so that's a pretty busy schedule. But tell us a little bit about, and I know she have competed last week over in Arkansas.
no, she
Uh,
didn't compete. No, that race didn't happen. Yeah,
okay. I know I saw something, but I didn't actually
yeah.
see the whole thing. So yeah, so yesterday was just a little as I said, a training run, as you said, just to stop by and down at Clemson. They got a great facility down in Clemson,
Yeah,
and both coaches are doing an excellent job on the with the program. And as I said, as you said before, and as the news have come out, that the men's program, is going to be discontinued, I think, in the next couple of years officially, because I think they're not giving any more new scholarship, but
Yeah,
the athletes that are there now going to continue to run. So, and just I'm a track and field fan, just to see that a program is going to discontinue. Nobody never wants that to happen. Um, Clemson has such a rich tradition when it comes down to male runners, from Michael Green. I know that Dwayne Ross, Sean Crawford, and I'm trying to name out some of those. It's a long list of Clemson athletes. Their male program has been going on, actually stronger than the women program. The women program is just recently starting to have the likes of Breonna Rollins, and some of the other hurdlers that are came through. So we happy to we it's sad to see that happen, and we're still gonna keep our fingers crossed that that might change. Because anything could change. So just gonna say. So let's talk a little bit about 2020. I know that was training was going real good for the Olympics, and I know you have got Cynthia have done a full indoor season last year, was preparing for the Olympics and so on. So just tell us, how did the delay of the Olympics affect you, in terms of training for another year. Do you feel like it's going to help you to your preparation now to do well in Tokyo, in terms of getting to train more, or you're pretty much just picking up where you left off?
well, the thing is that with Andre great teaching, I don't really focus my mind on it too much. I just take it as it is. I felt ready last season. This season is coming along to pretty well. Really, I just take it simple. If it happen, it happen. I'm gonna be ready. If not, my focus is to be healthy. Really, make sure I'm healthy. But I don't focus my mind on it because it's not something we can really control.
Okay.
So I just choose not to think much of it. I hear that it's gonna keep, it's not gonna keep, so I also just clear up my mind and do what I love. Really make sure I still go every day and train and feel good doing it. Because
Okay.
if I tell myself, oh my gosh, the sport's gonna die, what's going on? Are we gonna have championship or not? I think it's gonna affect my training. So I just take it pretty positive and optimistic. Yeah.
All right. All right. Awesome. So what are your personal goals? Or you could tell me one or two goals that you have for 2021 for the Olympics. What would you like to accomplish this year in 2021? As an athlete for France, you're representing Martinique and French because you know that Martinique not going to be in the Olympics. So,
Yeah.
if you do well, you're still going to get that support from Martinique. And I know that there was a great famous athlete, Marie Joseph Perec. And I'm not sure if he's from Martinique or Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe, but kind of next door, French speaking,
Oh,
and run
my
for
dad is
France.
from there, so it's the same. She's a great inspiration. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your goals for this year? Looking when you sat down this year before the season start, and what were your goals? What you like to accomplish this year in 2021?
Well, of course, my main goal is to improve my times. I feel like I've been ready to go sub two, so I just wait for the right time, the right place, because of course we know the season is it's not the same. We don't get to compete as much and regularly. So, like I said, my main goal is to stay healthy so that when the right time comes, I'm able to drop it.
Uh-huh.
And really and truly, I cannot set my mind to a meet and say my goal is to go there or to do that because we don't really know what's gonna happen or not. But if Olympic keep and it's actually secure to run at the Olympic, then my goal would be to be a finalist. Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, Ian, let's share something with me earlier on that I want to share. They're currently trending in Martinique. Tell us about how the coronavirus is in Martinique right now.
Well, Martinique is a pretty small island, so like we were telling you, it's pretty funny.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Martinique is a very small island. Everyone knows everyone. That's how small Martinique. Martinique is like Greater Portmore. Everyone knows everyone.
Almost.
All right. I mean, the only people I don't know in Martinique are the babies, newborn babies.
Yeah.
I go online and I see these like huge numbers of corona deaths, you know. So at first I was like, all right, I got to go around and ask and see if all my people are all right, you know. And I realized that numbers keep going up, but my people, they're still alive. They're still alive, and I keep looking around like, hey, who died? And everyone is like, I don't know. Like no one know who's dying in the island. So it's like I don't know. So I just conclude that tourists leave from Europe, come in the island and die. That's the only conclusion I can make. But the island is small, man. You see everyone every day. Everyone do the same. Martinique is like a recorder that you rewind and play. We do the same thing every day. Everyone do the same thing every day. You know what I mean? So
The conspiracy story.
I mean, that's what I think, man. That's what I think, man. And
So I'm assuming that there is, in terms of cases in Martinique, how is I'm assuming that are you guys affected in any way? I know some countries are doing really good. I know like Grenada has no cases. I know countries out. Um, are, did your life get affected in any way? Or while training or just make the adjustment while in Martinique?
I guess mainly when it was the first quarantine because everybody was a bit confused about the French rules and everything, and everything was closing up. But eventually, people start adjusting and they leave some of the stuff open. Hopefully, we're not going back into a quarantine. I hope, because right now people are actually the governor told them not to celebrate carnival because it's carnival right now, but I see some people out there celebrating without a mask, and that's the last thing we want, that we don't follow the rules and then we end up being locked in again. But that was the main thing really that could that kind of affect us. It was last season, the first quarantine, when they close up the stadium and everything. But eventually,
The lines they were pretty hectic.
all the lies.
The line was to fall from to get food.
In the store. Oh, yeah, yeah. At first, yeah, it was long. We had to wait for hours just to do grocery shopping, and
If you're not smart enough and navigate wisely, you catch the line when it's in the sun, and the sun in Martinique gets pretty hot. It's really hot, man. Yeah. I hope we don't go into another lockdown.
Yeah, I hope to. But other than this, it was all right. Yeah. Overall, it's okay. And also, I'm pretty happy. Like recently, they said they found out a plant from Guadeloupe that could help the immune system against COVID. So that's really positive. Hopefully, my people can, get it level up for the world to maybe benefit from it. Yeah.
All right, Ian, you're the health and wellness guy, so you might have to book a ticket to go check this thing out.
Just gotta have Cynthia and André just get enough, they can shoot me at you. They're on the ground, they may get to it quicker. Ian, they may borrow some going in on that one.
Okay. Well, you would have to. You can't say nothing. You'd have to. It's a secret. Not a secret, but you know how it is. When it comes down to any type of it depends where you at. Actually, it depends where you at. Everywhere in the world got their own regulation. I know that people are saying that they're not going to take the vaccine. Here in different people, and I think that the vaccine is. I only could speak for myself now. That I gonna run to the line when my turn is here to take the vaccine because I've been taking a flu shot every year, and I'm never have any effect from the flu shot. So I'm going to deal with it just the same as take a flu shot. I'm going to take the vaccine to help me to get immune from this disease because this disease is not going anywhere. It's all over the world. So everywhere you go, every country you go. And with the business, working at athletes and all that, it required a lot of traveling. So it's gonna be very important for especially athletes to get the vaccine like as soon as possible because with the in and out into different countries and you want to make sure that when you travel you're safe and then nobody else is getting affected. So that's just my take on it from a personal standpoint. Just speaking about myself, what I have in mind. All right, so let's move along. So Andrea, let me ask you about a little bit about your coaching. So you have been around a lot of great coaches. I mean, as I said, Michael Clark and Mike Olivier. Then you went to Oklahoma Baptist. One person I've asked a question here that I wanted to get back to in regarding to you leaving from Oklahoma Baptist to Coppin State to figure out how did that transition going in terms of what actually let me put the question up back on the screen here and we could read it. Actually, no, that's not it. Somebody answer the question. What did it say? Here it is, Ian.
I put it back up.
Okay. Sorry. That's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. So they asked what led to your transition from Oklahoma Baptist to Morgan State instead of moving to LSU to train with Coach Elliott.
Well, it's actually Coppin State next to Morgan State.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, So basically, what happened is that I went to Oklahoma for 3 semesters, not 4. And in order to transfer to LSU, I needed 4 semesters of credit, which at the time I think was 48, and I had like 42 credits at the time. And my dad had sent some money for me to take some online classes through LSU distance learning, but I was taking I think 9 credits, and I started the credits late. I started in August. I needed to complete 3 courses before December, so I could send all of this to Coach Elliott to get into LSU. And when December came, I still wasn't the classes still wasn't completed. And my mom, man, she was like, you need to get back into school, man. He told me that they're getting back into school September. You're still not in school. You tell me no, January's coming, and you're still not in school. You know what I mean? So you need to do something. And that's when I started reaching out to Coach Elliott, started reaching out to schools, and all the schools Coach Elliott came in contact with. They all saying that I don't have enough credit, you know. And that's when I got in touch with her coach and the copying coach. And that desperation to get back in school, just to put my mom mind at ease, is what led to me going to Coppin State University.
All right. All right. Well, I hope that answered the question for Mr. Fullerton over there. I think you was fortunate enough to go from another historically HBCU to another one. So and then I know what you have beside you now that you know um, would never. I don't know how that connection would have come, but you maybe would have still find his way. But you know, we're not going to go anymore into that. But we're just happy that that was the end of that chapter there. In terms of that. All right, so we talk a little bit more about. Let's talk about Cynthia. Now I know that she's also into graphic designing, and she studied interior designing at school. So tell us, Cynthia, a little bit. Where did your love come for designing and graphic designing and interior designing? When did that started?
I think from when I was a little kid, growing up in Paris, I was at the middle of a lot of really creativity. So yeah, just started from there. I always been drawing, and my mom used to bring us to a lot of museum and events. So from when I was young, I just knew I wanted to be an artist. And well, it's when sorry, yeah, I just been studying art from high school, and then that's what I wanted to do to at UMES.
Okay. So with your art, where do you draw your inspiration from with your art? I mean, I know that obviously track and field can be some form of art. I think people running and these great photos, can turn into artics, into other art. But for you, where does your inspiration come from with your designing?
Well, like you said, I believe track is a way of expression, and I guess all the stuff I do with my hands is my way for me to express without my legs or without words. It's just a way for me to feel good and to express whatever goes through my mind. My inspiration is just my everyday's life, my journey. I always have stuff going through questions, and I like to express it through creation. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are some of the most enjoyable and memorable thing you have done so far in your designing? That some of the work that you have done that you're happy about, that you have on display, that and where can we find those, or if people want to see your work?
Okay, so well, from my athlete Instagram page and my Facebook page too, I always put the link. I created a brand name for all my creation, which is Please Love. It's a mix of Creole and Patois English to say more love. And on that name, you can find a page called Peace Love. You should find the link on any of my pages. And the other question was, oh, what's one of my most outstanding work, the one I prefer. It's hard to tell because I love each pieces that I make. They're like my little babies. I really put all my best in it. I must say, well, which one do you prefer? Like, I don't know which one is really my favorite. I know I have my last big painting, which you might see on my page, is pretty much, it's like my, how can I call it? It's like a auto portrait of me running.
Okay.
I wanted to like express that feeling I have when in the air, when pushing hard, and it I'd started it uh, a year, maybe 2 years ago. But with track and field, I don't get to to finish it when I want to. It's just when I have some time, or when I feel like I continue a little bit. So it end up being like a 2 years painting, and in between, I guess the theme of the painting changed because at that time I had an idea, and at one point we were thinking of quitting track because it was
Okay.
getting pretty hard. I think by the pandemic, when the pandemic started, we were like, maybe we have to call it a quit now. So what I did is that during quarantine, I just went back into my painting and continued painting. And I thought it would have been the painting of the end of my career. So I just continue to express, but with a bit of a different theme, a different idea. And as I put all my performances and my journey through it. So now it is finished, and it ended up being a painting that's kind of like in between my career, that express the a part of my career, a part of the story here.
All right. Awesome. 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 All right. Over to you, Ian.
All right, all right. As I said, it's a good afternoon. We're here and we're learning about this poor couple. And with that, I want to just go over back to Mr. Andre. And Andre, during your time of your professional career, um, was there anything that you have learned that would have helped you with your coaching today?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I've been fortunate to learn from Mr. Clark. I learned psychology. From Mr. Olivier, I learned that positive energy. That guy's always positive. Even when he's upset, he's positive. Remember one time, yeah, I used to run with my arms like this, I'm a 800 runner, and I used to run with my arms never move, you know, and he would come to me and he'd be like, man, you're a chicken, and he would laugh, and then next day I go back, I see two like pretty good sized brick. I'm like, where you going with that? And he's like, oh, you got to run with it, man, and you can show me that you don't have to run with your arms, like this. I'm gonna take the bricks out your arm, So I learned that. I learned how to think outside the box. Cause that's the kind of coach Mr. Oliver was. He always make it happen with little to no resources, and he's always positive. And from the Oklahoma Baptist coach, now I learned the science. That guy at Oklahoma Fort Maston, he knew science. He wasn't the best coach, but he could tell you every muscle in the body, every chemical reaction in the body, what caused them. Like he could break it down to you and tell you what you need to eat. And from Coach Elliott, I learned about pretty much lactic workouts and quality, and I learned how to basically, how can I say it? I learned how to run a fast 400, but at the same time, being an 800-meter athlete. And if you look at all these 800 athletes, they all have like pretty decent 400 times. Like Natalia Gould right now has like a PR of 51.2. Before Natalia Gould, you had Richard Jones who had a 46 PR. So I'm able to combine. If you watch Cynthia when she compete, you see a lot of these qualities in her, always positive. Even though we don't have much right now, to get her to that level where I think she can actually be. I learned from Mr. Olivier that, you got to do, you have to work with what you have. And as a coach, I always try to like, I play a little bit of psychology game with her also, and the psychology game I play with her is like, it's mind over body, meaning that if after those 300, which is the most painful workout she will probably ever do in her life, I don't think giving birth to a child is more painful than those 300. Like, it's intense. And, my philosophy is this, man. If you're not on the floor dying and you're able to walk over to the starting line, obviously your mind playing tricks with you, and you just need to go there and run. You need to go there and run and to think to yourself, after each 300, I get 1 minute of rest. 1 minute. So it's better than a 600. A 600, you don't stop. So yeah, that's how all of this have helped me to be the coach that I am today.
All right. If you had looked back in your life, probably 10, 15 years back, did you ever see yourself in this role, basically working as a coach?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we know when we're going through college, we're looking at a career path, and most times it's not coaching, but then you're looking to pick up something.
It's funny, man. I remember before I started college, I went to Mr. Clark, and I was like, Mr. Clark, that I want to become a coach. Originally, I wanted to go to GC Foster College, and that's when Mr. Clark was like, GC Foster, he's like, nothing against GC Foster, but he's like, you can travel. And I love to travel, man. I ain't gonna lie. So before I left and everything, he's like, what do you want to study? And I was like, I'm gonna study physical education. And he's like, I understand your passion. I see it in you because you always asking me questions. You're always trying to learn from me. And I know that you're gonna be a great coach, but guess what? Coaching doesn't pay the bills. And I'm like, you doing it? What do you mean coaching doesn't pay the bills? It's like, yeah, I do it part time. My real job is up by the University of the West Indies. And I was like, okay, so what do you suggest? And he's like, going to medicine, business, or law. And that's when I was like, I tried medicine, and it was getting in the way of track and field. I just couldn't stay awake in those 4 hour, 5 hour labs. So I was like, all right, medicine ain't for me because, when you become a doctor or researcher, you're going to be in a surgery room for sometimes 20 hours doing surgery. And I'm like, this ain't for me. I don't have the stamina to stay alerted for that long. Then after that, I tried law, and I was like, I love politics, I love law, I love history. That's what I graduated with.
Okay. All right, Cynthia, I'm gonna turn over to you now because now you're able to basically welcome all of that knowledge that you have gained over the part, and becoming a coach. But not much athletes have what you have, meaning having a husband who is your coach, your personal trainer. What does it mean to have your husband as your coach?
A lot. He's like everything in one. I mean, I couldn't ask for best. I'm never bored. He's there all the time with me, like Whitley was saying earlier. I don't need to take the phone and contact him. He's there, and it helps a lot too for the mental. It's like having that companion always on the road with you, and I can ask him question at any time, even during the night. I wake up and I can ask him, "Hey, hold on, what's the race strategy again?" He's just, he's just there all the time, and I I. I think it's like I'm in a bubble, I don't really realize it. I'm so much into it that it's it's just normal, but maybe it's when the career will be over that I will really like see it outside of the bubble. But it's amazing. It's a great journey here.
All right. As a athlete, and Andre, you kind of look like you hang up the spikes now. So let's say former athletes. Would you guys just give these young athletes a little insight into some of the things that they may have to give up if they want to be the best athlete or the best self in terms of their career path? Because I know as an athlete, there's a lot of things that you guys have to give up. You guys could be out there having fun instead. You got to be at training and so forth. So, you guys being in the profession, just let these youngsters know the sacrifice that it takes to be a world-class athlete.
Different culture, so speak about the French culture. I must speak about the Jamaican culture.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna say the lifestyle. You just gotta be different. I think it's a personality thing. Okay, no, I don't know if you can call it personality, but you have to be willing to not be like everybody else. You have to be willing to not be the person with a lot of friends and into the all the talks all the time. So I guess yes, it's a work that you have to do individually on yourself, and I guess it just came along with the road that I took. Like when I was telling y'all that it was hard to transition from Martinique to from Paris to Martinique. It just came along because at the end of the day, it was hard for me to actually adjust with the youth over there. So being a track athlete was okay because at the end of the day, I wasn't really getting all the friends and everything. It was hard. Anyway, I was different. So you have to be willing to be that person, that pretty unique person and that pretty unique lifestyle because most in France we don't have like a sport program at school. So most of the kids at school, the majority will be the people that get to go socialize after class, that get to go party on weekend, and the minority will be the athlete because after school they have another life, they have other goals. So yeah, you have to be willing to be athletes, I guess.
Well, speaking as a Jamaican, from a Jamaican perspective, I would say really, first and foremost, you have to be able to resist the females. I mean, when you go to champs and you win that medal, a lot of girls come to you at half a tree. Yeah, I don't know what is in Santa Cruz, but
Yeah,
half
and
a tree is
season,
on the
season.
place.
Yeah, let's tell you about the season. Yeah, well, that man have all season, so. But
Yeah, yeah, man. It is in St. Elizabeth. They got a lot of Ian is from the south side.
Yeah.
You got a lot of what you call brown skinned ladies come from around that side.
Okay. 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 Yeah. So,
Not to say, look, we're like all skin though, so we just want to make that clear.
yeah. I would say, as a young Jamaican male, winning a medal at champs, now half a tree downtown Kingston, you have to be able to just, walk straight. Like, all right, I'm gonna go straight home, I'm gonna go straight to school. I ain't gonna stop on no corner. I ain't gonna be, pss, pss, nothing like that. So I said that's what that's what I see. I mean, many of my teammates in high school, that's what really caused them to like fall by the wayside. They skip practice to go and entertain females. Another thing I would say, you have to have a tough skin. Because the Jamaican crowd, man, there are some tough critics, and they don't censor nothing. So you gotta have a tough skin and you have to be very, very determined. Very determined because many of us, man, like I said, the meal plan in college was like one of the greatest things in college. So you have to have a determination to say, all right, I'm gonna go to practice if I didn't eat since yesterday. I'm gonna put that work in because I know it's gonna pay off. So I'd say determination, strong willpower, and you have to be very focused on what you want, and believe also.
yeah, thank you for sharing, because a lot of athletes, at least young athletes, just as you said, first thing, girls, because I could throw you off, as you say, you wanna in the limelight, as young men, we're growing up, you always wanna be in the limelight, you wanna par with a certain crew, and they're going off and they're hanging out, and gotta be on the track, putting in the work, and I think that was one of my downfall, not the girls, but when I look at when I look at the training, it was tough. Mike Olivier, when rain fall, man, his wife, Lana Bennett, they'll be doing some little aerobics and some little type wine and all these things, jumping up the stairs and all that stuff. When I look around the corner, I look at my cricketers. They were hanging out, in a corner with the girls, and they were chatting or just joking and having fun. But because the cricket field is wet, that's it. But with the training, man, you get to go into the gym, you got to do the stairs. So rain, hail, or shine, you had to be out there training. And just to give up some of these things, it could be tough, especially when you're a youngster, under peer pressure and all that stuff. So what you talk about here, that is serious. So a young athlete, know that they have to prepare to give up some of the fun, early fun in life. Put it that way, because the fun is always gonna be there right through life. You can always enjoy yourself. But there's some things you gotta be just disciplined. And I say put in that hard work. So that first one that you talk about really affect a lot of athletes. They lost themselves along the way based on these little things. It may look like simple things, but you missing training 1 or 2 or 3 days out of a week could cost you a second of your time, and that could cost you a race or cost you not to medal. So it is very important. We're gonna touch over to Ian because that states, we have something that they call it season. So if it's football season, all the girls will be looking at the footballers. If it's cricket season, they're looking at the cricketers. If it's track season, which is always the season. But Ian was a part of everything. I don't know if he tell you that. He was a cricketer, he was a footballer, he was a tracksman.
Yeah. Yeah, all over the season, man. And you find that I train all the way up to the day before Christmas. That's pretty much track have a camp that start in December when football finish, and then cricket. So I don't know how I do it, but I'm so glad that I end up stick with track because I realized that track, when I see the track athletes, they was going away on scholarship, and when I was getting older, I starting to decide that how I'm going to choose. It was really difficult. Coach Olivier pretty much literally, at the time I thought that it was torturing, but I used to try and skip training, and but when I see Coach, my heart start beating, I try to cut through another shortcut to go home. And Coach cut through another shortcut because I promised Coach that I'm gonna come out this evening. So me and Coach make a deal. It's all right. I'm gonna come out. Coach, I forget my shoes, man. I'm gonna have to come tomorrow. Coach said, no, you coming out bare feet, man. Coach said, man, Coach get to the point where you're like, you figure it's a game. Every day I have a different excuse. But again, one of the things that I love about a coach, and I respect every coach. A coach able to identify a talent in a person. Sometimes the person can't see that in themselves. I didn't even know that I could have done the 400-meter hurdle. I didn't even know. So coach, he said based on what he see, he think that I could be a good 400 hurdle. I should try. I used to be a goalkeeper, so I could jump. But I also used to play on the field because I fit. They used to put me to mark a guy, so I would run with him anywhere he go. So if he come off the field,
let me tell you this one, Andre. When they put Ian to mark a man, the man go out to drink water, Ian go with him.
Yeah, so it was. I follow instruction very carefully. So at the time, I said, look, that's the only job I want you to do. Make sure this man, just stick with him. We don't want him. He's the man that we got to keep out the game. So, so yeah, it's crazy. But look back at it now, that was kind of crazy. But, so that's how we go. Cricket. I play a little bit of cricket, but it was too close. It was too close. In the younger time, it's easy. You don't have to do a lot of training. In the under 16, you just go on. They're looking for people to play. But once you get to the Headley Cup, it takes a little bit more training and more work. So the coach them kind of agree. Them talk. One thing at Stets, you have 3 of the best coaches that every coach, they work together, cricket, football, and track. You don't have a coach that's from the cricket team say, "Oh, I don't want this guy to play." If you know that you have the talent, you will let you go play football, and they work together. So I think the coaches work together and say, "Okay, I'm gonna take it easy on him," and because I went to play a minor league in Kingston in the summer. So all that stuff there was taken away from my other practice. So anyway, we're gonna bring up because we have about 10 more minutes. So we want to get some you know some more of the stories here before we run out of time. So Cynthia, so one of my fun question I wanted to ask her. Oh, here goes Mr. Coach. I didn't see Coach
Yeah, he's
All right,
here.
that's all right, man.
All right, Coach. Yeah, Coach. Big shout out, man. Yeah, Andre told me that you actually was coaching him, man. I mean, me and Andre talking, and Andre said, "Yep, man." And just the simple fact that Andre took a page out of your book to his coaching career, I really admire that about Andre when he talked about what he learned from every single coach that he ever know or coach him or that come in his life. That tells me that he's gonna be a good coach. So Cynthia, you in real good hands. When you have a coach that willing to seek information and to learn and to continue to grow, that's what you want, because there's always room for improvement and growth. But when you have a coach that think they know it all and they don't want to hear from anybody, that's just me personally. I don't think that that would be a good fit for me as a coach. A coach that knows all and he doesn't want to hear from nobody. It's either his way or no way. So one thing with Coach Olivier, he would say, Ian, if you want to work with Mr. Senior, do some training in the morning. Yeah, man, we get it together. And I go out there and I train Mr. Senior in the morning, training Mr. Olivier, Coach Olivier in the evening. I haven't two coach, so and I never have a issue of me, once I'm putting the work in, that's in because I know Mr. Senior will work with me to help me to work on my hurdles because you need people to help you. You can't do the hurdles every day when everybody else out there. Sometimes you need to put some extra work in. So that was a blessing that I have about it. So in the last couple of questions, so Andre, I know that other than the wine, as a coach, just able to travel and drinking the red wine and all of that stuff. What else do you enjoy about coaching?
Well, I mean, I like to see personal best. I don't know, man. I think I'm different. I like to see PBs over medal. If you run a personal best and you finish last, I'm happy. I'm happy. And I think that's what I got. That is what I get from Mr. Oliveira as well. He never pushed me to win medals or win races. For him, it was just executing. And like I tell Cynthia every day, man, that's how my mind was as an athlete. You're the coach, you're the one who's supposed to be thinking. I should be executing. And I think I bring this every day. I tell her the same thing, and I think that's why she opened up. She opened up with her fastest season opener yesterday, because I told her, let me do the thinking and you do the execution. And this is what I got from Mr. Oliveira. He was very technical, the most technical coach I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm also a very technical coach. I'm constantly fixing up Cynthia tech, constantly. So I think that's what I enjoy the most. I've seen PBs, and I think this is why every athlete I've coached up to this day, I've run personal best with me within a short span. And I always tell them, if you do what I ask, you're gonna PB, and if you don't medal, it's okay. You just gotta come back next time.
All right. So tell us some of the athletes that you work with in the past as a coach, or you consult with, if you want to share it publicly.
Yeah. My first athlete was this athlete from Massachusetts named Amy Piccolo. My first 3 months coaching her, she ran a 4-second PB, 2 minutes 12 indoors at age 16. So with brands at New Balance 2014 New Balance high school indoor meet. I don't remember the name of the meet. I work with her. I work with this other athlete named Rushan. He went to Coppin and he was looking to go to Texas Tech, but he needed to get his 4 hurdles time down. I think he was running like 54. And when I coach him, I was coaching for like 1 month. You know, I only really say I coach when I fix some little minor stuff. And he ran 53. He got into Texas Tech. I don't know what happened after that because we just lost contact. After that athlete, I also coached City College of New York cross country team to their best finish in cross country at the conference championship since 1994, which was a second place finish at the time. You know, all 7 athletes on a personal best on the team to finish second. Then after that, I just focused all my attention on Cynthia since then till now.
All right, awesome. So, Andre, tell me, I know you, Cynthia, probably know this, but what's the best race did you witness that she runs, execute, and and perform?
Man, I would say Boston last season when she ran 2 flat indoors because the week before she ran terrible, 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 terrible. She ran like 204, going out in 50. She went out in 26 the first 200, came through in 56 for 400, came through in 128, I think, and she just when AG passed her, she just died. 204. I never seen her in that much pain in my life, and you know, she thought that I wasn't going to come around the back and watch her cool down. She thought I was upset. You know, she just thought I was going to abandon her. I guess that's what coaches in France do, you know. So I went around there and I was like, it's okay, you know, you're on a bad race. You know, it's in the past. Let's just focus on Boston. No, the bad thing about your tour for is that I don't know if I can get into Melrose next season, you know. And another bad thing is that I don't think anyone is gonna try to sponsor you now because you keep choking. But let's go to Boston. She went to Boston and she executed perfectly. Ran she ran a whole 1 second PR. Prior to that her PR was 201 and she ran 201.7 was her PR and she ran 2 minutes 00.7. She ran a whole personal best. And I think that race was just executed perfectly. Perfect. And I think that's the race I have on my iPad right now saved. I have no other race saved on my iPad, but that one. Now that is like my greatest memory coaching art.
All right, Cynthia. Got 2 questions for you. What you like most about Coach? What you call him? Hickyman. What 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 you like most about him as a coach?
Hmm. Uh, well, the fact that he's a legend is like he inspire me. Like I think it's all his stories and like you were saying, the fact that he's always willing to learn more every day. He just come up with ideas and he always researching for more knowledges. So that motivates a lot. It's like wow, it's never over. The time is moving, but it's like it doesn't feel like it's moving because we always having something new. Like every day is gonna get up. I get it. I think I got it, and then it just come up with something new, something to fix, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
All right. Now put all the track aside now. What's the best thing you like about him? If you could tell me one word that describe him as a husband, what would that be?
uh, it's hard. How can I don't know how to say it in English. What what what's an adjective for your heart?
You just said it. It's hard.
You said it. That's good. Yeah, that's it right there. The heart is important. I mean, not the mouth. What comes from the heart. I hear that a lot. So yeah.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
if you don't win another medal, once you have gotten that medal, that heart, man, you have the medal for a lifetime. You won his heart. So that's a medal. But I know you're gonna be doing great stuff. We all know that we'll be supporting you, we'll be following you. You have the best coach in your corner there.
Thanks, thanks.
Okay. And let me ask, I still got that Paris up there. So let's talk about I know that you're 33 years old, but you're looking like 23. Um, so I know that all that breadfruit and yellow yam. I don't know if you get any of the yellow yam as yet.
Not yet, not yet. Not in Martinique, man. One
Okay.
specific.
All right. But I know that nutrition plan that coach is doing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it that you're looking younger. So we're looking to see you. I know we're looking to see you going for well, now that the Olympics is only three, the other Olympics, you have 2021, then we got 2024. So it's gonna be a quick turnaround,
Mhm.
you know. And I know that, as I said, you was born in Paris, France, and the 2024 Olympics is going to be in Paris, France. So I know that's going to be it's like going to be in your backyard, and I know that got to be some memories there. And I'm not moving on. I'm not moving too far along, but I just want to say that we're definitely going to see you 2024, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So any final words, Ian?
Well, I just let them leave a message for the youngsters who are looking to take up the same career path, being an athlete, and also a message for the young couples. So if you guys want to just leave a message for them, it's Valentine's, so we're gonna spread the love, as we said, and for the athletes, that's your guys' career path. Just share something with them.
Well, what I'll say is that for the young athletes, man, honestly, this is from experience. 'Cause right now I manage a coach Cynthia, a manager. I'm also our nutritionist. And what I've come to realize is that not many athletes are educated enough about the business side of the sport. And because of that, many athletes end up enduring financial difficulties. And that's the part of the sport. Honestly, this is the part of the sport I do not like. I do not like that this side of the sport. I don't think that an athlete should be running such and such time, and 5 years after their career, they're homeless or they're, you know, sleeping on someone coach, because of bad financial investment or, just flossing, as I would say. So I think that, if you can go to college, man, for free, go. If you can get a contract where the contract pays for your college, go. And if you can even go to a community college where it's cheaper for 2 years, learn about the sport, the business of the sport, and don't be quick to just say, I want to run pro. You can do it, man, because like they always say, strike the iron while it's hot, but don't forget the education part out of it. You know, that's what I say. I say, relationship, man. Relationship is like building a house. It's like in the beginning, it's really, when you dig the foundation, I've dug foundation before just to get school uniform, and it's really hard. You feel that pain in your back. When you swing the axe and you bend over and you stand up, you feel that pain run up your spine. But as you start laying the bricks, it gets easier and easier and easier. So I would say be patient and don't go into any relationship thinking that those butterflies gonna last forever. Eventually, those butterfly goes away, for the person you love, and it comes when you go outside of the home and you see someone new. But you gotta think to yourself like, hey, the same butterfly for this person, is the same butterfly for my wife. Just like how it went away with my wife, it's gonna go away with this new person also. So you gotta focus on the more deeper stuff like our qualities now. But that's what really want to keep the relationship together, the qualities. And like I was saying here, she always got me, no matter what, man, always. I'm in France and some people like try to disrespect me by saying, live in France, man, and you can't even speak French. Now she's quick to like, nah, you can't even speak French because I'm Parisian, I speak French. I speak the original French. 'Cause, you have many different French, but the Parisian French is the real French, they say. And she's always like there to support me and back me up. So those are the qualities you gotta look at. Also, I always tell myself, man, this, my wife, she's beautiful, and the same way if I'm looking at someone else, there are other guys out there looking at her, so I need to keep her close to me. So that's it. These are the qualities you got to focus on. Because that butterfly is not going to always be there. It's going to go away, especially after childbirth. You know, stuff happen and serious stuff happen after childbirth. I've seen it. But you got to focus on the more deeper stuff, you know, the heart and all of that stuff. So that's my advice, you know. Focus on the qualities.
Strong advice right there.
Yeah. And I guess you said the most part. I'm gonna just add up that, you know, to for the track couple, just you gotta be strong, you know. You need to set up the strong goals and stick to it. Do not ever listen to nobody, just your goals and that partner that you choose to go at it with, you know. Don't ever don't ever give up on it because it's gonna be hard time. Always remember why you even started it, you know, and stick to it. Many times I hear people telling us like, "Wow, we admire how y'all just stick to that goal," but is that I guess that strength that we keep giving back to each other's and that love for track, that love for each other's that always keeping it even through the hard time. And yeah, just gotta always remind yourself that this is what you want. So be stubborn about it and just go for it. Don't just block everything else around it, block everybody else and stick to what you want. I think that's what make us really strong. Like we have that thing in common where we stubborn. People are gonna tell us, no, go that way. No, no, that's what we want. And that's it. Just gotta be strong. Yeah. Don't like nobody like come in between and tell us what what oh, sorry, continue. But it's a teamwork. We gotta give each other that strength every time and make sure we always there for each other's because that's what keep it, you know. Yeah.
Just want to say it was definitely an amazing afternoon. You know, you guys came on here as a power couple. I don't know if Ian was seeing this from way out when he invited you guys on Valentine's Day. Because I wasn't thinking about it, but then I look and say, Ian, wow, you have a couple on Valentine's Day, man. You know, he deserve a medal for that one to bring you guys on that you could share in your career part, athletics, but also a love life story. You know, you guys coming together and you're living the best life ever. And we just want to thank you guys for coming on here to share your story and your journey with us here on this afternoon. You could be doing anything else you wish to do, but yet still you're here with us on Ian and Ian Real Talk. And we just want to say we appreciate you guys, appreciate the time, and appreciate the knowledge that you have basically left us with this afternoon. You know, you have definitely did exactly what we believe you would have done: educate, motivate, and inspire. So we're just gonna send it over back to Ian.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna end. I got one thing to share because I think this is really good. You know, I'm gonna share one of the secret with the viewers as a little treat. You know, if they want to stay in shape or any athlete that want to stay in shape in the off season and still enjoy your vacation, I'm gonna share you a few little tips that we get from this athletic couple right here that I found it very interesting. I know it was in Martinique, but you know, I believe that you can do this anywhere. I think that is very beautiful in Martinique. You know, I've been there and I absolutely love it. I've been to Martinique for the Carifta Games. Didn't get a chance to, didn't get a chance to go to the beach and things like that, but it was good. So I'm gonna share this here, and then we could,
Okay.
yeah, we could call it a day for this here.
Welcome to Archimedes, home of the 2018 800-meter indoor champion Cynthia Anaïs.
competing for months in the evening. We often go to the beach or go on long walks into the mountain in the northern part of the island. From the base of the mountain to its peak, take 3 hours of walk. After hours of hiking, there is nothing better than a swim at the beach.
Banjo. Sin.
That was good.
Yeah, man. I told her that I'm jealous. It's look like you guys are living the Lica Loca, man. And yeah, and the beach and the hiking. But man, I really I don't think I've laughed this much. This
Yeah,
much. Yeah,
try,
you know,
man. You know?
I really enjoyed and really that's a thank you. I wish you all the best for the season. Continue to work hard, keep knocking on the door, and keep your eye on the prize. Just keep focused and just remember that the more obstacle, the harder it is the sweeter the victory. So anything that you might come across, just realize that it's gonna make the victory sweeter. Always challenge an obstacle. So wish you all the best, man. Have a safe rest of your time, wherever you at now,
Yeah,
in the US, and as I said, all the best. I'm looking to see you guys in Tokyo, this summer. All
yeah, man.
right,
Yeah,
thank
man.
you so much.
Much appreciation. Respect to Ian and Ian, for having us, come on here and share our story. I hope it can reach the wide audience and, hope I was able to help because, that's something both of us really want to do into the track community. We want to promote the sport in a positive way, but also give back, so that the next generation don't have to go through what we have to go through. You know what the funny story is though? The person who's hosting us right now, Cynthia, got her a scholarship to Pittsburgh also, you know, straight from Czech Republic. So like I said, you know, our goal is to give back and try to help as many people as possible so that no one go through what we had to go through. You know, the goal is to make the next generation have it easier than we do, just like how Martin Luther King died for us. So we can actually integrate and go to like schools like Oklahoma and George Mason and all of that stuff. But, you know, that's really the goal, and that's what keep pushing us. You know, at times it gets hard and we feel like giving up. So thank you for, you know, giving us this platform to share our story, and you know, respect and blessing to everybody.
Before you go, Ian, Andrea, I don't remember if I asked you, but is there any room for any other athlete for you to coach? And I know Cynthia, you know, she's your wife and everything, but is there a room?
I mean, there's always room for athletes to come and train me. You know, I don't usually tell athletes no if they're serious. You know, and that's what I look for. You know, I try to look for qualities me and Cynthia have into the next generation. You know, and there's always room, but you know, being looking as young as I do, for one, and not being a part of a system. You know, most athletes are going to come to me, artists that doesn't really have anything in terms of a financial support or a support system, and I myself cannot support them financially or create that environment because you know track and field is very political, and every day we keep going through it. So if an athlete come to me and say, can you coach me? I'm gonna tell them the good and the bad. But first and foremost, I'm gonna recommend them to another coach who I think has the ability and capacity to get them to that level. And that's what I've always been doing whenever athlete come to me. I always recommend them to other coaches, and I tell them that I don't have what it takes to actually make them improve. So I think this is why it's just me and Cynthia alone on this journey together right now.
All right. Well, man, thank you very much. And I say all the best to you guys as you guys continue the journey.
Yeah, man. Hey, big up INS Turner, you know. Me know her. Big up.
Oh yeah. This is another coach here too that she's doing a great job
Yeah,
as an
man.
athlete and a coach.
Especially
She
bad.
was on the program and
Yeah, man.
yeah,
You
she's
see that?
yeah,
You must be
yeah.
working, but I see it, man. She bad, man.
All right. All right. So much
Big up
respect.
yourself, Ines.
All right.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of the day, and you know what? You'll put
All
on.
right.
So, all
All
right.
right, cool.
Peace.